So we've been using this program for a while in class, but I know some people might feel off track or just kind of like maybe they weren't tuned in the first day. So I just wanted to make a video that goes over the basics of what we're looking at here and just kind of point out the different things on the window. This big part here is like the work window. You make different parts and stuff in here. You make sketches in here and all sorts of modeling moves. This is where it all goes down. If you roll on your mouse wheel, you can zoom in and out. And if you hold the mouse wheel in like a button, you can pan side to side. So a lot of times you just need to go up and down, side to side. And that's when you hold the mouse wheel in like a button. If you wanted to spin it all around, you can click this orbit tool and kind of do this kind of thing. And you'll notice in the top right corner of the screen, there's a little cube that is also spinning when I'm spinning this with the free orbit tool. And it's maintaining its orientation. This cube is called the view cube, and it does a bunch of cool stuff for you. It really lets you see things dead on if you click the words. You can also click this little house, and that goes back to what's called your home view, which is an isometric view, with the front being on the left side and the right being on the right side and the top facing up. You can click on the different corners to give yourself a 90-degree spin. So that's really nice. You can click on the words to get a back view, bottom view, all that stuff. You'll notice maybe you need a 90-degree spin right here. These curved arrows come up and you can turn it with the curved arrows as well. You might come into an instance where you need to change your front view or your top view, and you can do that in this little drop down here. So you can go home, but you can reset your home view and you can reset the current view. And that's helpful once in a while, especially if you feel like you're not in the right orientation. Okay, so zooming in and out, spinning things around, that's a lot of fun, but you got to be able to make stuff in this program. So how do you do that? Well, maybe the most basic thing is to come up to this little page right here, and this is your file menu. And when you click on it, you can do new designs. That's pretty basic. There's all these things I've never even touched. New electronics library. Go for it. So there's lots of different modes of the program. Yeah. So just know that if you wanted to start a new design, you just come in here and click new design. Okay. Maybe you want to find something that you've already made. Well, you could click open, and you could get it in a list form like this. You can make different folders, and we'll get into that maybe in another little work video like this. But you can also click on this little 3x3 array, and it picks it up in kind of more graphic form. So if I wanted to maybe bring my child's toy into this new file that I'm making, I can click it and drag it and add it. Oh, save the design before inserting components. So it just wants me to save. Guess what? The save button is right next to the file button. So I'm going to give it a cool name. So practice 33. And now I should be able to drag things in and have it become part of the new design. What if we bring in 2? What if we bring in 3? Looks like it wanted to put it right down on top of the exact same spot. So I can move it and drag it around and drop it in a different spot. Anyhow, that's just kind of where you find files and how to start a new file and how to save a file and make a new design. Alright, so that's the basics. You can spin things around, you can move things around, you can find where your work was, how to save it, how to open stuff. You can also, we'll get into it in a later one, but export your work for 3D printing, which is pretty good. Notice that the solid tab is turned on, and we're just going to make what's called a sketch. So this very first thing in the top left is how to create a sketch. And that brings you into the sketch mode. You can see it says sketch down here, all blue, and you're no longer in solid mode. And you can do things in sketch, all these things, lines, circles, rectangles, make shapes. You can do patterning, all in Create. Modify lets you take the things you've created and do things like trim them out, extend lines, offset lines. These are all like ways to take your design and kind of modify them. These are interesting. They're called geometric constraints, and you can make lines horizontal or vertical, coincide with each other, like a point and a line. You can make a line tangent. Let's just do it. Here, I'll make a circle over here. Say OK. Make a line next to the circle. Oh. Say OK. Not my favorite mouse. Am I still in the sketch? Yes, I am. So I'm going to click on the top view so I can see it again. Then I'll use that constraint that we just saw, the tangent constraint. I'll click the line and I'll click the circle. Boom. And now this is going to be tangent. And until you break that, it's always going to remain tangent. Okay? If you ever wanted to break one that does exist, and it happens quite frequently, you can click on it and hit the delete key, and that gets rid of it. Now the line can go back to just being a line. All right. So sketch mode allows you to do all the sketching part. And it's very two-dimensional, kind of like drawing on a piece of paper. But model mode, which is the solid mode here, will let you bring things into the third dimension. Okay, so the profile I'm selecting, profile is just a name for a closed shape. So by clicking on those things, I can get a torus or a ring, right? So we'll go through these a little more in a different video. I don't want to make a video that's more than this long, so we'll get into all the modeling mode stuff little by little. That's just the basic work window. Don't forget to save your work.